adjust this a little. We do have some refreshments if you haven't gotten anything to drink. Chicken, fried chicken, some grapes, some fruits. Okay, so we got some stuff over there if y'all want to partake. Okay, awesome. So, my name is Howard Jones III. Some of you all know my father, Howard Jones Jr., Pastor Jones, Principal Jones. He just recently retired from Metro. So y'all gonna be seeing a lot of Howard Jones Jr. He always has to keep two jobs. So yeah, man. Thank y'all for coming, and thank Mr. Renzo, Ms. Karen for inviting us here today. All right. I'm speaking on black men and the food industry from a open-minded perspective too. Okay. And just not about the analytics, but the workings of a man and what a man has to do internally to put out a lot of greatness, right? So today I'm gonna start with Jefferson, my Jefferson Street historical background, and my North Nashville heritage, which is start from my grandmother and grandfather, which would be Barbara Jean Campbell at first, until my grandfather at 15. A lady came to Kingdom Cafe, and she said, I remember when your grandfather proposed to your grandmother. And she brought down pictures of them, of my parents and my aunties and uncles when they were little kids, and she used to babysit them. And so it's a lot of history that I didn't know that started coming to me just by me having this bloodline of North Nashville. And so at 15, they got married. My grandfather said, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna take care of you, Bobby Jean. He had a full-time job. He always took his shirt in his pants, had his shoes hitting, pants hitting his shoes, very crispy guy. And didn't graduate from high school, didn't go to college. But one thing he always knew was show up on time and to look good. Keep your back straight, keep your head up, have some character about yourself. And that took our family a long way, until my aunt and my dad wanted to go to college. And I think my dad is the first black man to graduate from college in our family, and be a pastor. So he put a twist on what it is to be a Jones. So my grandparents, they first started with the chicken shack, I believe. I'm not sure where it was. It might have been over here somewhere, but it was a chicken shack. And then they started to, my grandfather ventured into the courthouse, first as a janitor, and then he got up. Mr. Talley told me another story here in North Nashville guy. He's about 90 years old right now. Very bright guy. He's about this tall. And Mr. Talley said, your grandfather took my job. Because my grandfather would come in sharp overalls, and he's supposed to be cleaning toilets, but he never did. He always talked. He was always, mingling around. And eventually that landed him that spot. Mr. Talley said, I bought a new car, came back and lost my job. And so those are the things that put us where we need to be, put them where we need to be to save some money, save some capital in order to buy properties here in Nashville. He first bought, I'm not sure what the first one was, guys, but I know what I remember was the piece of property next to Sweats Plaza and things like that, where you had Pop's Barbecue, you had the laundromat there, and you had a convenience store there. So my grandfather, it was actually two separate buildings, and somehow he merged them into one. You wouldn't even know, but told him he couldn't do it, and he did it. That was the kind of man he was. If you tell him he couldn't do something, he would absolutely do it. But it started as I believe it was a hole in the wall type of auto mechanic center. He put some stands in there, and he started selling chips, drinks. It funded the remodel. He built the barbecue pit for Pops. Pops working at Cantrell's. He said, why don't you come open your own thing over here? And he did. And the rest is history. And somebody might have hit some numbers or somewhere along the way. But there's some things that we do, and just being positive and on time and sharp. Okay, and which led along with my father. My father, he wanted to open up some convenience stores, but my grandfather wanted him to be more articulate, wanted to read more. So as a man, these are some things that we had to do. We had to read, we had to do these things, even though my grandfather might didn't get the education that he needed, but he definitely wanted to push that for his children. So, Howard Jones Jr. went to TSU. First he went to UT Knoxville. Then he went to TSU, graduated from there, bachelor's and a master's degree. Now getting his doctorate degree at Trevecca in biblical theology, I believe. But nonetheless, we actually created a relationship, another jewel of North Nashville, the Harpers, that dynamic duo. We used to patronize there, and the ups and the downs, every Sunday. Every Sunday. I spent an hour at Harper's, and with Miss Harper, and also Mr. Paul. And that segued to us purchasing the building. A lot of people don't know that story there, but we spent a lot of time, a lot of folks spent time, but we definitely patronized, and my father had helped him some more things, and we got first deal. So church bought the building, Fairfield Missionary Baptist Church, okay? Just a little bio, and pushed the building, remodeled, hence me and my father purchased the building and trying to keep pushing that along, especially during these times. We got Family Dollar and things like that going out of business here in North Nashville. Keeping things like this around is a big thing. So anyway, a few key points that I want to segue from my family is first, work ethic. They taught us a work ethic. Always have multiple eggs. Feed, clothing, shelter would be our family crest, our motto, and what we drive to do in the community has been instilled in us for decades. And to feed, clothing, shelter. Grandfather always say things out. People always need some food. They eat every day. Shelter, they need some housing, and they need some clothes. So those three things, and community. My grandfather would tell me to visualize things I want. Before all YouTube and stuff came around, he would say to go outside. If you want to build, you need to go walk by it every day. You need to count the people that's going to come in your building, visualize how many people coming in, and that's how he would obtain the things that he has. It would be visualization and moving, creating those relationships. So, black men in the food industry, we have to create relationships. We have to sustain a work ethic. We have to visualize where we're going in any industry that you're in, to be honest with you. And set goals to push yourself further. All right. One more thing. Some things that my father would say would be is to preach in season and out of season. So, a man sometimes in the food industry and without has to preach in season and out of season, whether his relationship's going good at the house or whether it's not, whether his kids just riled him or not, whether he's having some health issues or not, So that's a tough thing in the industry too, is to keep your mental sanity beyond all the things that we do, the money we want to make, the house, the car, what about self, so that's a pretty tough thing in our industry, or being a black man in general, driving in traffic, it's a lot, watching the news, amongst making money. There's all these things that play a factor in your mood and some things that I'm about to talk about here. So, another thing would be, where's my scripture here? No one is puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the service of kingdom. So, that scripture hits home to me all the time, regroups me, gets me where I need to be to push forward and be stronger. I used to be 260 pounds too, y'all. I'll tell y'all that. To be 260 pounds at the age of 29, I sold cars for about 3 or 4 years, enjoyed it immensely, and man, I asked God a thing, because at that time, cars weren't being sold. I think the economy was kind of hitting different. And I said, what do I have? And from that point came this self-awareness. So we have to have this self-awareness about ourselves and actually look into yourself and ask yourself, what are these issues I'm going through? Maybe you might need some counseling. Always, grandmama might not be the best counselor all the time. You know, we might have to get somebody to talk to about some things and read about some things and just learn. Anyway, let's move on. So my 3 points I want to move on quickly here and touch is customer service, quality, and cleanliness. This is like the 3 cousins for me at Kingdom Cafe and in my life. Okay, you can just about do this stuff as a lifestyle for yourself and for your family and for others around you. So, customer service for me deals with self-care. Starts with self, most definitely. One must learn how to serve before you get your crown. That's one thing I do believe is just people want a lot of stuff. They see the end game but don't want to do the middle stuff. And the middle stuff might have you cleaning the toilet. The middle stuff might have you sweeping the floor or mopping the floor or doing these things. And sometimes people just see the fluff and don't see your middle, you know, and that's okay. You know, another thing, rule of thumb, is don't mistake malice for ignorance. Some people just don't know, right? So take it with a grain of salt, because all of you have a story and been through something, right? No matter how old you are. So, bam, that's the first point. Push forward no matter what. I told y'all that pre-season, in season and out of season. Another thing my father would say was make a decision. As a man, you gotta sometimes make executive decisions that might not feel good to everybody else at that particular time. And in business, those things are definitely done. Firing, hiring, how you do that. Because I'm definitely in the food, and I've kept individuals that I probably shouldn't have kept based on my heart. And me and my dad do that both. We'll have people around that might not be of our best interest, or the integrity is not there. And then, like for instance, my father had some kids to help him, and we still help. He helped him with his campaign one time. The kids actually did some things, stole something out of somebody's car, you know, and he got it back. He did the old North Nashville way. He walked down there, knocked on the door, and got this stuff back. And but you know, keeping that balance between, I would say, your integrity and our community is in a shift right now with that too, with our integrity versus what's coming, right? And we have to kind of gear up and show them what we're about, right? And so, let me move on from that. So, customer service, quality would be the next thing. Always check yourself. One guy told me his name was Reverend Green. I don't know if you guys know Reverend Green. He was from Pilgrim Emmanuel. They actually, he was a great guy. He was my professor at American Baptist College. Went there for 3 years. Not to be a pastor, but to home in why do I believe in what I believe. Okay? I learned a lot of things about the Nicene Creed, how the Bible was put together, a lot of things we probably all should know. But Reverend Green was there, one of my great professors, and he would say, he told me this, he said it's a difference between intent and impact. And it was very deep to me because at times, like in my life, I could see myself wanting to push a good intent, but I couldn't see my impact. And so as a man, that self-accountability, that ego to really die daily, what the Bible says, you know, to renew the mind and things like that. Sometimes we got to shed off and put on some new gear. You know, that coat we used to wear might be worn out for winters. We might have to go buy a new jacket and learn different things and things like that to put out a different quality of standard for ourselves. So, yes, quality of food is good, making sure my line is based, making sure everything is good, temperature, but those things also come from within too. It starts from inside, to want to do those things, to want to serve in that type of way. So my next thing would be, out of customer service, quality, and cleanliness would be cleanliness is the last thing. Stay clean in your mind, clean in your actions, but also pick up the trash, don't walk over it. You know, it's something my grandparents instilled in me every day. I pick up, man, I walk over a penny, my granddad will pitch a tent. And so these things definitely ring clear to me. My grandfather also lost the use of his legs at an early age. He had MS. And he would get out there in that wheelchair, roll around, and spray their house down with the hose. He said, "Yo, spray your house down, it gets dirty." And that's a fact. So he would do that. He wouldn't pay nobody to do that. He'd go outside, every now and again, walk around the house, hey, look at it, spray the house down, get the gutters fixed, stuff like that. And that ensures cleanliness. That definitely ensures quality of life as well. To do a walk around your life, do a walk around yourself sometimes, you know. Take self-accountability. It's going to add to your quality. Like I said, I was 260 pounds. I took a walk around myself. God told me to dissolve everything that I thought was valuable and that I needed. And these things were just temporal things, to be honest with you. And I was in a field by myself. I didn't have anything, even no clothes. And he said, "What's valuable now? And I want you to work on those things. I'll give you everything else, but I want you to start there." And that's one thing that I did, and that's who you see today. And I'm still on my journey with that too. I'm not the person that I envisioned in my mind yet, but I think we all should be that person that we envision in our mind, that person that you value the most, that person that you see, and I admire that person. You be that person, because you are that person, okay? So, as I conclude, I appreciate you all for listening. So, always remember where you came from. Remember how you got there and where you're going. Have a worthy goal to push towards. It definitely links up with your family. I think that's a big thing. Because if we keep on starting from a place, we're never really, you know, that you got to start from somewhere. So I'll take up the torch from my father, my grandfather, my grandmother, and continue to work, right? So, customer service, quality, cleanliness, y'all remember that, okay? All right? All right. Love y'all. Thank you.
Stand up just for a second.
Yes.
All right. I just want to present this to you on behalf of Lorenzo Washington, the founder. And it says, Jefferson Street Sound Museum, Nashville, Tennessee. The founder of Jefferson Street Sound Museum recognizes your participation in celebration of men. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Howard Jones III. So we just thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Like, what's the recipe for their fried chicken? How do you make your macaroni and cheese?
I'm not can relate though, so you part of Kingdom Cafe. A lot of food stuff, what else y'all do? How long y'all been existing?
We've been existing for about 6-7 years, maybe longer. Since Fairfield took it over, I'm adding those years too, because I definitely worked there when they were there too. So, yeah, probably about 7 to 8 years we've been doing that. And Harper's did their thing for, I don't know, 15 years maybe, at least. Yeah, so like they were, so that spot has been hitting back to back to back. I think it used to be a liquor store, it used to be, you had insurance agency in the back maybe one time.
Grocery store.
Grocery
Yeah.
store. Before then, we were juke joint. So like, that building is definitely a historical monument to our community. And so we've been there and been cooking for that long. And I started cooking, man, when I was a little boy. I'm tell you, following my grandmama around the kitchen, one thing that I knew, and I felt then I was a little boy, I said, man, my grandchild ain't gonna be here forever. And so, and I know none of these people ain't gonna cook for me. And so I still got the book. I started writing down all the stuff, all the recipes. And a lot of these recipes are similar to North Nashville's recipes. Like Mama Annie cooks down in my spot. She does similar stuff that my grandmother does. So it's crazy how we have one black culture, but there are split cultures in this one culture. I don't think we realize that. Like East Nashville, like Lacease has its own taste, like Swiss has their own taste, or you know, it's not necessarily a pitch, you know, against each other, but it's just a taste. It's color. Anyway.
That's something to think about right now.
Yeah.
Everybody, every side of town has their own type of taste. Nashville.
That's right. Own type of dress, own type of words. Papa probably can tell you, but I can't. But
Is there like competition among each group, or that's just their own?
so I would say you could say that, but I don't say that. You know, you could say that and not say that. But I don't see things like that. I see things as like what I talk to Lucy about when I see these individuals, what I talk to dogs about, and I see them, we talk about coming together as a soul group in like a syndicate. To where now we're talking about our prices together. Now we're looking at how much does it cost all of us to buy chicken, and let's charge, if you want to charge more, but this is our base price as a whole. And now we're all with it. Now, the consumer, we can say, hey, we've come together. This is what's real. These are our prices here, and we'll all go out of business. Let's raise some chickens. Who wants to help to, you know what I mean? That's my mind, is to create businesses and other things. If some folk are retired and don't know what to do with this $100,000, we can put it back into our communities, not by just, you know, doing stuff just looking good by building. That's fine, but we need farmers. We need our products to be made at our price and not their price. Because that's what my biggest thing is. It's like just us going back to the basics. Flour, those things cost a lot right now. And if we did that, then yeah, our place could be $12, $10. We sure could. We could sell it all this overflow to them for a lot more, like they do us. So, and not them would be in color, but them is big companies, right? Because you have some African American big companies, you have white big companies, Asian big companies, but we as an African American culture, we do this street, this neighborhood could benefit from harvesting our own chickens and eggs and things like that. My partner has, I'm gonna tell this story a little bit, and I'm gonna stop to that. Megmar Farms, right? Cully Centrals, we started before we purchased the Megmar Farms. I had started a skincare line, okay? We sold soursop, we actually help people with cancers, anything, diabetes, some of these supplements that we had actually started to heal some people. I wouldn't say heal, because that's a bad word, you know, but it helped them. So ball size tumors, cancers shrunk to pencil head size, and things like that. So we started to do these things, and my brother would like to drink. He liked to drink. When he drunk, when he used to drink, he drunk a little bit too much. To be honest with you. Great guy, but just, you know, we all like those people. But one day he got DUI, and he didn't know that he was that inebriated, and it really hurt him when he seen the video cam footage of himself, and it kind of made that video cam footage just good. But he took that whole year that he had to do that breathalyzer and learn how to farm. He said, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to utilize this bad incident in my life. I'm I'm gonna flip that, because he's always talked about farming. But he started to do it, so he has watermelon jam, he has his own honey bee farm now. He puts a suit on, goes out there. So he started talking to me about that the other day. Did you know queens lay a temporary egg for another queen, and when she dies, does this, all this other stuff. But he knows all the stuff. We sell turnip greens down there. We sell eggs, $3 dozen. You know, that's not bad. Good variety. So we're trying to implement lower costs and things like that based on us getting involved and getting our hands dirty too. So, sit down.